Welcome back to the cryptoworld channel, everyone. My name is Josh, and in just a moment, the US stock market is about to open, which will likely have an effect on the Bitcoin price in the shorter term. And speaking of the Bitcoin price, right now we are trading below an important support level. And on top of that, I'll be talking about some other important Bitcoin charts like this later in the video. So make sure you're watching to the end so that you don't miss out on any of this important information. And just before you jump into it, you might as well leave a like down below. And if you're new to the channel, make sure to subscribe with notifications turned on for more updates just like this every single day. But with all of that out of the way, let's get straight into what this video is about. So right here, we're on the Bitcoin US dollar chart on the daily time frame, and we've got our Fibonacci levels here on the logarithmic settings drawn from the July low up to the all-time high. And over the past 2 to 3 days, the Bitcoin price has been finding some short-term support along the 78.6% Fibonacci level, coming in at around 35k approximately. But as of right now, at the time of this video, you can clearly see that the Bitcoin price is below that level. But with that being said, we still haven't seen a lot of confirmation of the break below 35k. We certainly haven't seen much volume, and we're still yet to see a daily candle close below that level. So for now, it's just a waiting game to see whether or not we confirm the break below 35k. And if we do see some more confirmation coming into play, then technically, according to these levels on the chart, the next major support for Bitcoin is closer towards 30,000 US dollars, which is of course the lows that we set back in May, June, and July. And just quickly recapping what I have been saying over the past few days here on the Bitcoin weekly time frame, looking in the volume indicator, ideally what we need to see in order to be confident that the Bitcoin price is potentially bottoming out is a major spike in the volume indicator on the larger time frames, like the weekly chart, for example, because you can notice here that pretty much every time that we see a major spike in the Bitcoin volume on the weekly time frame, that results in either a major market top or a major market bottom. So because of this right here, and as I have been saying over the past few days, I am not confident that Bitcoin is bottomed out just yet until we start to see a lot more volume coming in here on the weekly time frame. And I'll just quickly mention here that this yellow line in the volume indicator is the 20 moving average. And so because we're on the weekly time frame, of course, that means that this moving average is the 20-week moving average for the volume indicator. And right now, this moving average in the volume indicator is at the lowest point that we have seen in years. Seriously, the last time that this moving average in the volume indicator was this low was all the way back at the end of the 2018 bear market. And obviously where we are right now in all of this price action over the past 1 year is very different to what we saw back in 2018. So don't exactly expect this to happen again, but the last time that the volume indicator was this low, looking in the moving average, not long after that, as in within the next 1 to 2 months, we saw a massive capitulation, which was basically a massive long squeeze, which resulted in a huge spike in the volume in the weekly time frame, and that basically confirmed the bottom for Bitcoin. And then from there, we experienced a major pump to the upside in the following half a year approximately. Now, as I just said, just because we saw that happen back here, that does not mean we're going to see the exact same thing again, so I want to make that clear. All we really need to know is that we're yet to see the final move for this downturn, because we are yet to see the major spike in volume on this weekly chart. And also, as I have been saying recently on the channel, that major spike in volume on the weekly chart will most likely come into play when we finally squeeze out all of this leverage that is built up in the market right now. For anyone that is new to the channel, this chart right here shows us the Bitcoin estimated leverage ratio, which basically shows us the amount of Bitcoin open interest active on exchanges right now relative to the amount of Bitcoin sitting on exchanges. And even after all of the bearish price action that we've experienced recently, over the past 1 to 2 months, the Bitcoin estimated leverage ratio has continued to increase, and today we are still sitting at just about record highs. So it is only a matter of time before we eventually squeeze out a lot of this leverage. And as I just said, when that eventually happens, there's a good chance that that would be the liquidation event that we're looking for, that would cause a major spike in volume and would also cause a very volatile move and would likely put an end to this downturn in the markets simply based on years worth of price action. And now looking at this on-chain chart for Bitcoin, this chart is basically derived from the Bitcoin market cap, which is the blue line right here, and the Bitcoin realized cap, which is the orange line right here. And the difference between those two, first of all, the Bitcoin market cap is basically the price of Bitcoin at any given time multiplied by the amount of Bitcoin in circulation. And with the Bitcoin realized cap, which is the orange line once again, instead of taking the current Bitcoin price that is listed on exchanges, it takes the price of each Bitcoin the last time it was moved. So by doing that, you're basically filtering out a lot of noise in the market. And what I mean by noise is basically extreme price fluctuations, such as a major market top, like a bull market top, and a major market bottom, like a bear market bottom, for example. And it essentially smooths out all of that price action to just give us a good look at Bitcoin's market cap without the extreme volatility. And so by looking at those two lines, the Bitcoin market cap and the Bitcoin realized cap. When the Bitcoin market cap is well above the realized cap, that basically means that we are likely overvalued, at least in the shorter term. And when that happens, that places the Z score up in this red box, as you can see. And the Z score is this red line in the middle of the chart right here. And so you can see in past market cycles, usually at bull market tops, this chart right here gives us some great sell signals as the Z score moves into this red box. But on the other hand, when the Z score moves all the way into negative territory, which basically means that the Bitcoin market cap is dropping below the realized market cap, then that puts the Z score into this green box once again, which provides amazing buying opportunities for the longer term. And if you're looking at where we are right now, we actually are not in the green box just yet, but we are getting very close. And remember, for the Z score to come back down to this green box, then we need to see the Bitcoin market cap come back down to the realized market cap, which right now at the time of filming this video, the realized cap for Bitcoin is sitting at around 455 billion US dollars. So when you divide that by the amount of Bitcoin in circulation right now, that places the price per Bitcoin at around $24,000 per Bitcoin. Now, I want to make this extra clear that I am not saying that we are definitely going to see a $24,000 Bitcoin, because it's actually quite common for Bitcoin to experience a downturn and still not see the Z score reach into this green box like what we saw in the middle of last year. We did not make it all the way down to this green box, even though the Bitcoin price bottomed out and put in a new all-time high later on. So once again, I am not saying that we're definitely going to go down to 24,000. All I'm saying is if we do, that would provide a generational buying opportunity as experienced all of these other times throughout Bitcoin's entire history. This chart dates all the way back since around 2010. And over that past decade, we have only seen the Z score reach into this green box just 4 times in the last decade. It's just giving you a quick update on the Bitcoin Fear in Green Index, which is of course still sitting in extreme fear. And in case you are new to the channel, all of the best buying opportunities, if you're holding for the longer term, occur when the Bitcoin Fear in Green Index is sitting in extreme fear, which is represented by these darker red dots on this daily time frame for Bitcoin. And this chart dates all the way back since around the beginning of 2018. Now, obviously, just because we're in extreme fear, that does not tell us that we're at the exact bottom or anything like that. All it tells us is just some of the best times to dollar cost average into Bitcoin if you're holding for the longer term. But of course, that is not financial advice. That is just telling you what this chart means for Bitcoin and what has happened in the past. And now looking at the NASDAQ 100 on the daily time frame, and over the past 2 months, we have experienced quite a severe correction in the stock market, which is one of the main reasons why crypto has been so bearish over the past 2 months approximately. Because in case you don't already know, Bitcoin and the crypto markets are highly correlated to what the traditional markets are doing, like the stock market, for example. And this whole stock market to Bitcoin correlation is absolutely nothing new. I've been talking about it on this channel for almost as long as I've been making videos on this channel. And so as I mentioned in the intro of this video, we are very close to seeing the US stock market open. In fact, by the time you're watching this, the US stock market might have already opened. And when it does open, obviously trading will begin, and that will likely determine Bitcoin's price action, at least in the shorter term, because now there is more and more people looking towards the stock market to see what that is doing to help try and determine what the Bitcoin price might be doing next. So obviously, if the stock market opens and it continues to crash, there is a good chance that we could see something similar in the Bitcoin price. But then on the other hand, if we see a major bounce in the stock market, there's also a good chance that we could see a major bounce in the Bitcoin price as well. But if you're zooming out to the 3-day time frame on the NASDAQ 100, what we can see here is some of the major crashes that has happened in the NASDAQ 100 ever since the 2008 global financial crisis. And if you're looking at the corresponding 3-day RSI for the NASDAQ 100, during almost all of those time periods, we saw the 3-day RSI for the NASDAQ 100 enter into oversold territories or very close to oversold territories. And right now, at the time of filming this video, we are currently getting very close to oversold territories on the 3-day RSI for the NASDAQ 100. So while the bottom for this downturn has certainly not been confirmed, technically speaking, according to indicators like the RSI, we are potentially getting closer towards some sort of short-term bottom as we are getting closer to oversold territories. And if you want to get extra updates in the financial markets, make sure you follow me over on my Twitter, and the link to my Twitter is in the description down below and also in the pinned comment. If you got anything of value out of this video, please make sure to leave a like down below, and if you're new to the channel, you might as well subscribe with notifications turned on for more updates just like this every single day. As always, I appreciate every single one of you supporting this channel by simply clicking those buttons down below and leaving comments, and all of that is obviously completely for free to do, and it really does help out the channel a lot, so honestly, I can't thank you enough. But anyway, that is it for this update. I really hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you all in the next video.